So it was as good as you were hoping it would be.
It's better than I thought it would be.
We had some issues at the end of last video. I literally have 1 1/4 turns.
Is that it?
Maxed out to the passenger side.
We got problems.
I think we got problems.
I think we figured it out though. Okay, so this has brand new lower control arms on it, and we are bottoming out on the steering stop. So I think what we're gonna have to do is cut the steering stops off. It's a simple fix. It's a Christmas miracle! If you grab your light and come and look right here. So right here is what's called a bump stop, steering stop, thingy-mabob. I think what we should do is undo the tie rods, and we'll center it, we'll adjust it, and we'll grind, and we'll make it bottom out on the bumpy, stoppy thingy-majigger-do, right before it bottoms out. We just figured out blues. We just figured out blues. Real men carry saws in their pocket. That's what Hillbilly told me. Hey, so we're gonna get this tire all beat off. Dinner wants to compare knives. Mine's bigger. Okay, now keep cranking.
I'm cranked all the way now.
Serious?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what we gotta do. We've got about 1 inch that it still needs to go. There should be 3 turns total on a steering column, I believe.
From side to side or from center?
From side to side.
So we're only getting 2 turns.
Okay, so we're gonna go count revolutions in the plow truck. So we need to know from side to side, lockout to lockout, how many turns our steering column has. All right, so this is all red. This is the plow truck. We're gonna bottom her out. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, barely over 3. Right what I was thinking, call that bottomed out. We got 1, 2, 3, and a baby one. So we're about a 3 1/8 turning radius. Little over 1 1/2 turns will bring us back to center.
Yep, let's go inside.
Thanks, old red. Basically 1 1/2 turns from side to center. It's a beautiful evening. That needs like a 1/2 inch. Anyway, let me take this side off, Cody.
Okay.
Then we'll see if we can come this way anymore. Whoa, what was that?
On max.
Yeah, it was popping. I see what we're doing. We're hitting that bracket on the bottom. Yep, that whole center bracket's hitting. And it's hitting hard, dragging the whole way.
Oh, wow, it is, huh?
Yep, right up there in that. Okay, go. Yep, it's hitting and it's binding.
Got this. We're gonna try to cut that off with the Harbor Freight sent to us. Extended cutoff tool.
That is really hot. My arms are becoming fried chicken. That wasn't a good idea. But luckily I had safety glasses on. Now we're gonna take this skid plate off. And we're gonna really cut it. We're going to expertly delete said bracket. I'm not gonna lie. This Harbor Freight long barrel die grinder from Chief is freaking awesome. Look at that, dude. It actually like cut. I think that's enough to...
Oh yeah, that'll be plenty.
Okay, now the real test. Let's see if it goes both directions fully. Come passenger more. We got another problem. Okay, come all the way. We're hitting the sway bar now. We need to extend the sway bar length. So we gotta come up like 1 inch. Right here, see this is hitting underneath. This isn't wanting to go the full. Oh yes it is. Oh
Yeah,
heck
it is.
yeah. We're gonna make this thing steer. So what we'll do is we'll hurry and take this apart on both sides. Let's just hurry and take the sway bar links off and make sure we can
not
get
hitting.
it to go side to side. So that bracket's still hitting a tiny bit. We're gonna hurry and hack that off some more. Undo these sway bar links so that we know the pipe that we need to get, and then we're headed home for the night. Tomorrow's Friday, one day before we give it back to Aiden for Christmas. Starting to get stressed out. All right, so we actually just removed the sway bar mount. It's friction locked. What that means, this is brand new rubber. So when it gets up in there tight, it doesn't want to move because it's gripping so hard. So we're gonna put a little bit of grease on that in the morning so that we can move it. What we're trying to achieve here is this sway bar to go a little bit higher so that we can get all of our steering out of these tie rods. All right, it is the next day. So Hillbilly got over the man flu. He's back, getting the horn all wired in. Me and Cody are still working on the steering. We've got the steering wheel all centered, and now we're adjusting the toe and the tie rods, and we're gonna get it to where it'll turn past where it was turning. So we were only getting, what, 1 1/2 full turns from from lock to lock. It was only going 1 1/2,
Maybe
which is like this. Well, on a Chevy, they go 3 from lock to lock. We figured out what the issue is. We're hitting some bump stops. We were interfering with the skid plate. Had to cut a bunch of stuff off. We're gonna get that all set up. We're gonna have to extend the sway bar links to get them to clear the tie rods. We're gonna go get us a new tube here and extend it about a 1/2 inch and make that work also. Now we're using the Bleepin' Jeep toe alignment tools. You use tape measures, drape them like that, and you count it. And we wanna go 3/16 toe to in. So Cody's adjusting his side. I'll read the measurements and then we'll have this thing set.
Got the tie rod tool, so we can get in here and turn the sleeve.
We're basically even right now.
How are we now?
All right, so we've got this all adjusted. So we are 67 and 15/16 on the front, and we are 68 and an 1/8 on the rear. So that means we are towed in 3/16 of an inch. So this should track all the way to Nephi to Big O Tires to get this thing aligned professionally. Good enough. Now we're gonna tighten it all up, take these off, and we're gonna figure out our interference issues. All right, Dinner, go to center. Okay, count to the driver's side.
1.5.
Perfect. So we've got this side working. What we had to do, you can see all this metal shavings on the ground. We took our grinder, our belt grinder, and we actually ground down the lower control arm so that we have clearance for this spindle to turn. Anytime you do anything custom, things have to be modified. It's just one of those things, not a huge deal, but it is a process. And in the last video, it was so late that we had to go home and sleep, really assess what we needed to do to fix it. We've got the passenger side all working. Now we're gonna head over to the driver's side. Cody's gonna get that all ground up, then we'll get it finished. All right, Dinner, I want you to go all the way to the passenger side. Go all the way to the driver's side now. Okay, back up. Now go to the driver's side. Perfect. All right, so we've got all our interference with the steering completely fixed. It goes both ways, exactly how it needs to. We've got the toe set. Cody and Hillbilly are getting the skid plate put on. We're gonna double check it once the skid plate's on, but I think we're gonna clear everything. We're gonna throw these tires back on, road test it, and get this thing to Big O Tires to do an electronic alignment. And then we have a special request from Aiden's mom. So last year, Aiden gave his father, Mike, a rear brake light LED strip. It goes right under the tailgate on top of the bumper. We're gonna install that for Aiden. That's gonna be a cool addition to this. We'll get this all done, get those brake lights on, and get this thing on the road and see how she runs and drives. So they've got a skid plate all bolted up, but another thing that we ran into, our sway bar was hitting also. So we made new extension tubes that were a 1/2 inch longer. So we got those installed, we got the bushings all set. Now we have no interference at all. This thing's gonna steer like $1,000,000. Hillbilly told me that a real man carries a knife. Well, a realer man carries 3. Where's your knife? I swear if you have 3, I'll be so sad.
One was 2 blades, so.
See? He thought he had me going. He had 2 knives and I didn't even know it. Told me a real man carries 1. I will take you 2 knives and I will up you with 3.
Okay, deal.
No.
Mine are cheapies,
Hey.
yours ain't. I'll deal it.
And the best knives out there. Benchmates. So Hillbilly's just gonna hold on to the jack and make sure it doesn't take off and run away. So me and Cody will do all the hard lifting around here. Okay, let it down. Okay, let's hurry and start it and turn it, and let's just watch for interference and make sure this thing's good.
Way better turn radius.
Disaster averted. We got it. We went to Napa and we got us a trailer plug adapter. So this is the light I was telling you guys about that Aiden bought for his dad. It's a strip LED brake light system. So we're gonna install it for him. Hop up in there, Cody.
Brake.
Okay, brakes are working. Blinker.
Nice. It's all separate.
All right, so we've got that LED strip all hooked up. Okay, Cody, turn your taillights on. Look at that. Look at it. Okay, put it in reverse. Oh, perfect. All right, next step, let's get this thing to Big O Tires. All right, so we are on the actual maiden voyage. We're gonna go to the gas station and fuel this thing up because we wanna give it back to him with a full tank of gas. Seems to run good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to open it up a little.
Let her rip tater chip. It's going.
I'm floored. It's literally as gutless as I thought it would be. It actually feels pretty dang good. Like the steering feels good. Oh yeah, that feels great actually.
We'll use the Christmas gas for this one.
We could put the Christmas gas in the red truck. It's like green and red Christmas color. Just kidding. All right, let's get out of here.
You know the nice thing about it, Robby? It's a V6. It's gonna save a little bit of gas money. It won't quite as be a gas hog.
All right, so we just went for the maiden voyage. I'm gonna drive it to Nephi. We're gonna drop it off, get it aligned at Big O. This thing is amazing. I'm actually kind of a little sad to give it back or to give it to him.
Yeah, it's a nice truck.
So we got it back from Big O. Everything aligned out perfectly. So we gotta wash all the road filth back off of it because Aiden's coming to get it today. Today's the day. All right, so I'm trying to get all the studs out of the bed. And we'll let that drain out. Okay, so we're gonna get this all dried off. We're gonna go get it staged and we're gonna wrap it like a present. All right, so we've got our whole crew here today. We've got Kevin from Powder Extreme Coatings. He came down to help us give this truck back to Aiden. We got the whole Layton Auto Body team, and we're gonna get this truck wrapped because Aiden's gonna be here in about 20 minutes. All right, next person that sees this truck is Aiden himself. All right, so as some of you may know from watching the channel prior, on Father's Day morning, we got called by UHP to a wreck where a truck flew 80 feet off of a cliff. So we called my friend Don Still from Still Towing out of Nephi, Utah, and he was able to pull the truck from the bottom of the ravine. So a few weeks had passed by, we posted the video to our YouTube channel, hadn't heard from anybody, and we noticed a comment from one of you viewers that Michael Hauk had passed away 2 days later. So in that moment, we had two options: delete the video or reach out to the family and talk to them about it. So Aiden is Mike's 16-year-old son. Up until then, this truck was supposed to be his. So we got in touch with Aiden's mom. We decided we were gonna bring her down, bring her son, or we were gonna announce to them that we were gonna rebuild it for him for free. Next time you do that, it'll be totally fixed. And by the help of you viewers, we were able to fully restore this truck for Aiden. So obviously we can't bring his father back, but we can bring his truck back. It was time to get working on the truck. So we started that bad boy up, pulled it in the shop, got it completely stripped down to the bare frame, loaded the frame up. We had one option. That was taking the best powder coater that we know in the state of Utah. Our buddy Kevin at Powder Extreme Coatings. We took it up there, dropped it off. He did a complete sandblast, full zinc coating, got that frame looking amazing. While the frame was being done at Kevin's, we were able to find and source a donor truck. We got that back to the shop, and we knew there was only one person for that job, and that's Big Dinner. He is our resident Chevrolet expert. So he got right in there, got that interior completely stripped out. We were able to pull the bed off, the cab off, and start the bodywork and paint process. The parts truck didn't quite have enough stuff. Lucky for us, Cody had what we needed. We were able to go to Cody's storage lot and pick up a wrecked Tahoe that he had from some prior projects, and it had exactly what we needed. We were able to source the dash, the front doors, and a bunch of stuff on the firewall to put into Aiden's truck to get this thing put back together correctly. Our friend Ernie came down and worked for about 5.6 minutes. He helped us pull the doors off, and then he was gone again. After we got it completely stripped down, we were able to start all the bodywork. We even teach Hillbilly and Dinner how to fix some dents. So all hands on deck, we got these parts just perfect. Once Cody got all the bodywork done on the cab, he was able to get it in the booth, get it all primed up to where we could get it sanded and get it painted. Once we got everything in primer, it was time to start jamming out all the new parts. So we got the brand new Still aftermarket hood in the booth, jammed the underside, jammed the inside of the doors, and we jammed out the cab. I'm not much for the red color, but this maroon on this truck looked amazing. It's a perfect color for this truck. Even with all the hours and hours and hours of serious hard work, we still got time for Dinner to mess around.
Yep.
And then it was time to work on the bed. And that took hours and hours and hours of tedious amounts of work to get the bed and the tailgate perfect enough that we could paint it for Aiden. By the time we got all the bodywork and paint done, Kevin got the frame and all of the rough country lift completely powder coat matched to the body. I can't tell you how flawless this looks. Kevin does a phenomenal job at powder coating. We would not use anybody but the best, and he is the best. Hours and hours and hours of more bodywork, more priming, but it makes for a really good montage. Okay, one of the coolest parts of this entire build was actually bringing Aiden in and letting him do the paintwork on his own truck. So it gives a new appreciation for something, so we're not just doing this all for him. He actually came in and put his sweat equity into the truck. Maybe he'll be an auto body person. Maybe he'll be a painter. Maybe he'll be smart enough to not do this. You never know. All right, so once we get all the parts painted, then we've got to start stripping out the wrecked cab in order to see what parts are salvageable, in order to know what parts we need to get. Have I mentioned to you guys that I have the best team in the entire planet? Without my team, couldn't do any of this.
No, you could. It'd just take you a lot longer.
You can leave that. That's perfect. More bodywork, more sanding.
Yay.
Tony delivered the frame, and oh man, that's when I knew this project was starting to come together. The frame and the powder coating looks so good. It's just the perfect combination of everything. We were able to source all brand new glass from Clearside Auto Glass out of Nephi. That's our friend Heath. He helped us on the Golden Nugget. Then we were tasked with the huge job of transferring every single nut and bolt and wire and plastic clip out of the old cab into the new cab. And it just seemed like everything was going too perfect. As soon as we got the cab all finished and put together, The motor from Schrade Racing Engines came back from Pocatello, Idaho. And this little V6, oh man, it's gonna be a monster, like a baby T-Rex, but yeah, like a monster. The other resident expert, Mr. Mechanical over here, he was able to put the entire drivetrain together so we could get the drivetrain stuck back in the frame before we put the cab down. Once we got the drivetrain in, then it was time for the gas tank, the fuel lines, brake lines, wiring, and every single component that goes back into the frame before the cab can be set down. Cody was able to sandblast and Cerakote the exhaust manifolds, and we were able to get those put back on the engine as well. My favorite part, we turned the bed and the rest of the parts red. The coolest part about this entire project is how many people came together for one common goal, and that was to rebuild this truck for Aiden. As soon as we got the bed done, we called our friends up at Rhino Lining of Springville. They donated a complete spray-in bed liner kit for Aiden's truck. Cody was able to get the underside all sanded up and get it undercoated so we could get the bed back on the frame. Once the bed was back on, this truck was really starting to come together. Dinner was able to get all the brand new interior installed, and the cab was complete. The greatest part about this community of viewers is when we can't find something, somebody out there is able to help us out. So we did a call to action on a few very hard to find parts, and we had an awesome viewer named Bobby Powell donate the parts that we needed to finish up Aiden's truck.
And he done a good job of packaging it.
He is a logistics expert. So 90% of the work takes 10% of the time. It's that 10% of the work that takes 90% of the time, and it's time to finish all the little tiny details and all the nuts and bolts and bumpers and tailgates and just the little stuff to get this truck finished up. We went to start this truck for the first time and it wouldn't start. Luckily, we were able to pull the bed off, figure out that there was a wire backwards, and get the truck to start, and I cannot tell you the relief we had when that motor fired up for the first time. 6 months worth of hard work finally starting to pay off. We got oil pressure, we got voltage, we've got fuel. One of the coolest parts of this entire build was being able to spend 2 days with one of my longtime idols. His name is Jason Kilmer, one of the best polishers in the world. He flew out from Seattle, Washington to help us polish this truck, especially for Aiden. We got the front end all finished up, all the little tedious things. We headed down to one of our good friends, the Fab Rats. And Paul and Ben were able to build the most perfect exhaust system for Aiden's truck. That Flowmaster Series 50 exhaust with the 3-inch tailpipe sounds so good. It sounds good. You can't even tell it's a V6. And that brings us to this moment. 6 months in the making, every one of you supporting us and supporting him, and Aiden's on his way. How are you guys?
Good. How are you? The Christmas present.
It's not gonna unwrap itself.
Great.
We're grateful and blessed to be able to help you guys and be able to do a small thing as rebuilding this.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. BF Goodrich donated tires, Method donated wheels, Rough Country donated the lift, Harbor Freight loaded up the entire bed full of tools. You got a 12,000 pound winch, a jack stands, tools, everything you need to start your mechanic career.
Wow. Thank you.
So our friends over at Harbor Freight gave you a 3-ton jack. We gave you some recovery equipment, a tool set, some jack stands, a Badlands 12,000 pound winch, and a winch mount. So you should be able to have some fun with it.
Thank you.
Rhino Lining donated the bed liner. Kevin over here donated all the powder coating and sandblasting on the frame. There's a lot of people involved in this for you guys. We hope you enjoy it. It's fun.
I will.
Still a V6, but everything we could get is new as it can get for a 97. We tried to find the same flames as your dad had. I don't know if they're the exact same, but this is what we found. So we wanted to make sure those inserts were put in.
It still looks good.
I'll show you something cool. Check out the back. Okay, hit the brakes. Recognize that? So we installed that brake light that I was told you bought for your dad. So
Was it last year for Christmas?
LED aftermarket lights, the aftermarket third brake light.
Did you look inside?
Nice.
So we had the seat reupholstered, had the headliner reupholstered, these are all redone. The dash is new, it's out of a donor vehicle. Radio is your dad's, same steering column, same key. The gauges are the same. So we tried to use as much of the original as we could.
Looks real good. Here, check that out.
Got your old crap handle. So another thing is we actually flew in the #1 polisher in the world. His name is Jason Kilmer. So he made a block for you just as a keepsake. Basically, so you know that he helped work on it. Anyway, thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
So it's as good as you were hoping it would be.
It's better than I thought it would be.
Is there anything else you'd do different to it?
No.
I know it's a keepsake, but it's still a truck, and use it. We go overboard because that's who we are, but we know they're going to get used and they're going to get scratched, they're going to get dinged. Use it, man. It won't hurt us one bit. As long as you're enjoying it is what matters.
Okay.
Just don't jump it. Just don't jump it, man.
All right, so we've showed Aiden and his family everything about the truck. So there's just one last thing to do. We need to give him the keys and get this thing started. So we have a special guest that's bringing him the keys.
Ho, ho, ho.
So let's give him the keys, Santa.
So honored to give you the keys to your truck. No! That dang Grinch, I got your keys back. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for a test drive. What do you think?
I love it.
It actually drives pretty dang smooth. Obviously it's lifted, so it's gonna dart a little bit. Great.
How was it?
It was good. The ride's
Good
pretty
to
good.
be able to drive it again?
Yeah.
Nice. It's a good looking truck. I'm glad you get to have it.
All right, so another thing is Fab Rats donated the entire exhaust system. You guys saw in the last video, we went down there, Paul bent it all up with Ben. So we're gonna have him just get his reaction of the sound. So it's got a Flowmaster Super 50 in it. It's got 3-inch all the way out to the back. Pretty sweet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No problem, man.
You're welcome.
Hey, you're welcome, man. Enjoy it. Like I said, use it.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Let your sister enjoy it too.
I will.
Take her everywhere she wants to go.
Okay.
All right, so this has been about 6 months in the making. We are so blessed to be able to give this truck back to Aiden and for him and his family to enjoy it. So we want to thank you as the viewer. Without your help and your generosity of either helping with the GoFundMe or helping buy merch and supporting us building this truck for Aiden, none of this would have happened. So Merry Christmas to every one of you. And if you enjoyed this video, go check out this one.